She doesn't want to talk. Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go. Why do I have two screens up?
Why do you have two screens up?
I have no idea what's going on with this world.
Honestly, Monotopa.
All right. There we go. Okay. Uriah, you want to usher us in, sir?
Sure. Hey, what's up, Cam fam, and welcome to another installment of Evermore with EverLore. Now, normally we would be streaming the adventures of Wahuru, but today, because we're missing some of the crucial and vital members, we're doing a creature creation station for you. Before we jump right into it, be sure to check us out on social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, Discord, and YouTube. That's EverLoreGame. So go ahead and check us out there. We love the community, we love the conversation, and we love you, Cam fam. Also, when you're looking us up on YouTube, again, EverLoreGame, be sure to put that in the search bar. Like, comment, share with your friends the videos, but most importantly, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we upload another video to that channel. Also, if you want to go ahead and check out some cool merch or get yourself started playing the game, we have ManChildLTD.com up and ready for you. All right, so go ahead and check that out and get yourself a Traveler's Compendium so you can get started playing the game as well. Last but certainly not least, we stream live on Thursdays and Monday nights. Okay, so on Thursdays, if you want to catch Wahuru get into their shenanigans from 6:50 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then go ahead and put twitch.tv/EverLoreGame in your search bar. Go ahead and watch us and see what we get into. And then if you want to go ahead and see the other group, the one that's not as mighty as Monotopa, as he said before.
Right, that's right.
We stream Mondays. Okay, and that's twitch.tv/Essence of Everlore. It's Monday night, 6:45 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, we're trying to get to 50 followers on that. So if you like a tabletop role-playing game that promotes diversity and inclusion and has an awesome new innovative creative system, then go ahead and follow that channel. All right, we love you guys, and I will let Dave take it away from here.
All right. So we're doing our creature creation station tonight, where you guys will see a little bit behind the scenes on how we talk about creatures here in EverLore. We talking about one of these.
The vacuum thing left.
Wow! Immediately the vacuum thing.
That thing.
The vacuum monster.
Right.
I was feeling the thing on the right though.
No, we're doing the vacuum thing.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm feeling the one on the left a little bit, unless there's anything else you wanted to show us.
I mean,
vacuum thing.
The only other thing I had right now was this one right here that I had open. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. That one seems kind of dope.
So we're all split. That's hilarious.
All right.
Well, Dave, I think you know what to do. Bust out the D6.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You already know it's going to be a 6.
It's a 1.
Bruh.
Oh!
How is it every single time I come up with an idea or I want to do something, you just happen to roll a die and this is not me?
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't like it, man.
So, what in the world is this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, so I'm getting mad like Fireflox vibes, and I'm thinking that would be kind of sick if it were sort of had some sort of fire-like butterfly ability and in this humanoid-esque form. I think that would be kind of sick.
So Firefly.
Fireflox. Like the wings remind me a little bit of the Fireflox.
Okay.
Can somebody inform me what a fireflock is?
I can. In my handy dandy Monsters Menagerie campaign, which you can find on manchildltd.com/store.
Well, you know what? Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Finish what you were saying, Uriah.
Oh, okay. Are you sure? You just want to go ahead and knock it real quick?
Well, I think you've been overruled because
Oh yeah.
Pocket,
With the chat.
yeah, Pocket Dimension and Mika wanted to go with this one.
Oh, with that one?
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, we can be overruled. That's fine.
we can be
Yeah.
overruled.
With the
Sweet.
Cam
So, all right. So switching. See, that's how
Yeah.
we're flexible here in EverLore.
Yep.
Just like our gaming system.
So the idea I had with this is I was thinking some type of crustacean that it could be in the water, but also can come out on the land. That's sort of as far as I got.
All right, I feel you.
That was sort of the idea I had with that.
So, okay, you know what this reminds me of? Remember a while back, like maybe a year ago, when I was telling you about like the mana crustacean idea I had, where it's like they're these giant shrimp that like naturally grow runes across their back that lets them channel magic. And so there would be like, you know how there's like intercoastal drift in the real world in like the oceans?
Yeah.
I was thinking that those things would create like a sort of drift of core in the ocean. So like there would be magic just flowing throughout the waters of like, you know, the oceans of Mythandria. This dude kind of reminds me a lot of that.
So like maybe one of the reasons why the Endura is so like magical is because there's a ton of these on the like floor.
Mm-hmm.
No,
What you got, Dave?
I want them to be a bunch of like nanobites. Now listen, that sounds wild because we don't have the technology like that in EverLore. But listen, I think that they're all like parasites, right? Because they kind of look like a parasite. They look like your brain, they control you. Now listen. Let me finish what I'm saying, okay? You have trillions of these in certain areas, and yeah, they might be messing with the ocean. I think that's cool, but I think that they're mainly a parasitic creature that just infects. And listen, where I was going with the nanobites, right? If a bunch of them come together, because I'm thinking they're like small, real tiny. That's why there's so many of them, right? A bunch of them come together, boom, a giant one. Now, like, I don't know. I feel like it's like kind of cheesy, but we don't really have anything like that. I think that's a dope.
I think I kind of like that concept.
I like the concept of them being tiny and merging. I don't know if I like them being parasitic because we already have something that kind of is tiny and parasitic in the way that it can control you or take you out or whatever, and all of that.
Yeah, we had a stream dedicated to the one thing, the creature that like climbs up food chains.
And it needs like that host or whatever.
I'm not saying that it controls them. I'm just saying that it enters the brain, and that's like its gestation period.
But that's what the other thing was doing.
That's a lot like
it grows and learns from each host that is infected.
That's what it was doing. That's what I'm saying. Like it literally was that.
I think I love the idea of it being tiny and then them merging into like this bigger thing.
Yeah.
Absent of it being a parasite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
I think, okay, how about this? Or what if they're beneficial to the environment? All right.
Dang.
Okay, what were we going to say?
Oh, I was just saying, you guys like pounced on this idea of them being tiny. I was thinking they would be like manatee sized.
Okay, so here's what I was thinking, and then you guys can beat it up or whatever.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what if they're like really good for the environment and like they help, like you were saying, like they help like maintain the flow or whatever. But then when like I guess too many pollutants happen, or you know, you're doing something to the ocean or whatever.
You know, perhaps some industrious war, you know, faring country, you know, dumps dangerous, you know, magical chemicals onto the water.
Yeah.
Mythandria finally gets guns.
Right. Yeah. That's never going to happen. then they can like merge into like, you know, this big thing. I mean, they still sort of look the same, but then they merge into this massive one and come out and do damage. You know, but part of why they're so, you know, dreadful is because it's how do you fight it? You know what I'm saying? You hit it and you just killed off some of them.
Vacuum thing is for. It's arch nemesis. It just vacuums them up.
Oh my god.
So, because I like pocketing them, they agree with you. They were thinking of like the parasite, but I do agree. We've done parasites in a couple of different things.
Like a parasite. Yeah.
Actually, we've done like 3 or 4 different parasites.
Yeah, we've had a couple different ones.
And on one almost exactly like almost verbatim what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it literally burrows into the brain and then makes more. That's like its whole plan.
I think I like the small size idea. I like the idea of it coming together. I can get on board with it being good for the environment, but I like the idea of the runes. I'm kind of feeling this like rune thing going on, and I'm wondering, is it tied to the ability of them coming together, or is it tied to the whatever they're naturally doing with the water? Also, if it is tied to the water thing, I kind of want to up that a little bit, but I'm not sure yet. Like I like the idea of it with the waves and all that stuff, but is it tied to solely the water, or is it tied to like the moon, which affects water, or is like you know what I mean? Like what's going on here? But I don't know. I'm still trying to come up with a way to mix all of the ideas because I'm kind of feeling them all.
Right.
Well,
My main thought was like the runes would just be like, you know, they naturally grow into their body. It's like a genetic thing that they have, and that would like basically up their affinity for magic. So like the magic would naturally course like through the sort of runes in their carapace, and then because of that, that would give them access or more ease of access to things in the Shadow Sea. I feel like if they were to have an ability that like brings them together, that would just be like a thing that they can do as an animal, as opposed to like entirely a magic thing. Maybe they could, you know, use the assistance of magic for doing so, but
well, I'm not thinking they cast. So
Right.
you know, I like the rune idea, and I also like what Mika was saying is that she was thinking the legs work like jellyfish tentacles.
oh yeah, definitely
They can
that.
grab and shock their attackers. And
Yeah.
Charlie was saying like if they merge so that they can bring whatever they attack back into the water, you know, so that they're parasites.
I gotta be my side.
What if they didn't shock though? What if the tentacles drained like Grim Touch of Death, but on a larger scale?
That drain.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I
Because,
feel like
like-
when you're draining with an attack, sorry, my bad, go ahead.
No, wait, say go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, when these guys give for the environment, you know, it's like, you know, sort of similar, I guess, to how maybe worms are, in that, you know, just by them existing, they're, you know, making the soil richer, that kind of thing. They're like the natural core that flows through their carapace. That's healthy for the environment. I feel like if you give them an attack that drains, they're, you know, they're taking away from something as opposed to like producing. I say the electric shock makes more sense as opposed to draining, because they're, you know, their natural state of existing just neutrally is like, we are outputting, you know, as we exist, you know, we'll eat and whatnot, but like with the way our core works, we output, you know, it's similar to like a Tesla coil or something where it's like the electricity is coming off of, you know, the metal tower.
So I hear that, but I think the function, like the point of it, like combining and becoming bigger, is to take away the problem, right? I see
Oh yeah,
it
no, of course.
something that isn't outputting at that moment. It is protecting by elimination. So my thought process behind it having something to drain isn't necessarily tied to what it does to or for the environment while it's not trying to attack. It's tied to the fact that it's eliminating the environment's parasite.
You know what? I actually like that because then what it can do is it can recycle whatever it drains through its runes back into the environment.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Pocket doesn't quite see these as beneficial. He says, I just see these jumping out of the water and attacking people on boats and possibly crossing bridges. You know, he sees them more as a menace.
I don't think they would be that menacing unless you're being menacing. You know, if you're, you know, destroying the underwater nature, you know, somebody's going to stop you. It's going to be these, you know, crustaceans.
I got an idea. All right. And
Hit
this
me
just
with it.
popped in my head. Probably trash, but hear me out. Okay.
Garbage idea. Get out of here, bro.
You're right. So from what I'm gathering, because this is the word that stuck out to me. From what I'm gathering, these guys are sort of like reflections. Okay. So if you're not harming the environment, it's just going to continue helping the environment. But if you are, it's sort of like you reap what you sow, right? Like what you said, it's not going to be menacing unless you're a menace. So I kind of like the idea of a reflect ability, tying it back to what you were saying, because each function that it has, it ties to its that specific purpose. So like if it does have like that drain ability, the purpose is elimination. If it does have runes or whatever for helping the environment and producing whatever, it's for that, right? So I imagine like maybe in its truest sense, it'll have a reflection ability because that's what the abilities are doing. I don't know.
Okay, explain that to me a little bit better. So,
wait, go ahead.
You're saying it'll have a reflecting ability. So are you saying that it reflects something back at you?
I don't know. I don't know if it reflects, like, for instance, does the reflection make it so that you can't see it? And maybe that's why people, whatever. Or is it reflecting attacks, or is it reflecting something that's being thrown out in the environment? I don't know quite yet, but I just feel like something with reflection for this thing, because it seems like that's what it does. It feeds, it puts out what it gets.
I think I like that. I think when it's in the water, it has a passive ability, like when it's small. So like people don't know that they're the reason that the waters are so magical, right? I think that the backs of them reflect the sun coming through the water, so it just looks like more water, which helps with their mystery, which keeps them safe. And then when they need to fight, then they turn to that big thing and they lose that ability, but they're gonna kill you. So
what we're saying is that like the oceans of Mythangia are basically full of like magical krill and plankton.
Well, maybe not every single ocean, but a decent amount of large bodies of water, or just bodies of water in general, would have these people don't know about.
And then the Endora River could be like, you know, the breeding ground for these things.
Well, I don't know if we want. I was just throwing Endura out there because we know about that body of water having some sort of properties tying to magic and stuff like that, and different cultures praising that body of water for what it can do. I was just saying, taking what we know in game and making a more hyper literal translation to this creature. I could see it doing something like that, but I don't know if we're tying it specifically to the Endura, because I mean Mythangia is huge. We're just talking about
no, I got you.
Endura.
Mika Butler says she likes that idea, and Pocket says, "What if these are like the Salt Lake?"
Oh, I know the
Salt Lake.
So like
nothing can live in the water. So it is actually water. well, I think that like these are. I think the idea of these are beneficial to the land. And so they are what helps purify the land. And they help imbue the world with core.
Yeah. I think that because we're getting here eventually, their like their social thing is that they have to be in a group in order to survive. And if they don't, then they dissolve away. Because I want them to be like a creature that is evolved to stay secret so that A, it's not hunted because people knew about it, that there's trillions of them. And I like the unification.
I would agree that they would need to be in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't want you just like swimming somewhere one day and then you find one. Like
I don't think you would do that.
Yeah. So
that would have to be like a crazy circumstance.
Yeah, I think they'd like dissolve within like a day or like something like that. Like there's
well, I don't know. See, okay, so I don't know if I would have them be dead because they're not social. I don't know about that. However, I don't see them not being around others, right? Like whether it's in that full body of water or whether, like, let's say you're in an underwater cave or underground cave or something like that, right? And then you go through one part of the water, and as you get deeper through some other tunnel or something, this water happens to feel different, and that's where they all are in this part of the water. You know what I mean? So there's changes, right? But I definitely agree. I don't see them not being social. I definitely think they are social and they are in a group a lot. But I don't know if I would want them to be dead if they're not together.
Yeah.
So Pocket was saying, so random theory, what if during a special moon cycle, they could actually move the water? And Mika just said, I would see them traveling in large schools if they travel through water. If they travel through land, I would see them moving synchronized over the dirt like a landslide. Oh, that's interesting.
How's that?
Mhm.
That's kind of sick.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Right. So how big are these things going to be? I want to visualize this because you guys are saying that, like, from what I understand, they're like microscopic or like.
Oh no, I'm not thinking microscopic. I'm thinking like krill size.
Yeah, they're really small.
Right.
They're really tiny.
Okay. All right. I was thinking like maybe about like, the size of this pencil, like you would pick up like a shell off the seashore or something, and it might have like intricate runes on it or something, and that would be like one from this creature. But
is each school of them would have trillions, because it's just oozing so much core and so much stuff that it there has to be a bunch. So I think making them that large wouldn't work because then they're outputting so much magic or core.
Well, I agree. I think the schools would be large. I don't know about trillions, but I definitely think there would be large schools of them at different places, and that depends on what the body of water looks like, what the environment looks like, a bunch of different things. But I do agree that there would be many schools that I don't think would work with that size for what we're thinking at the moment. But I do like the concept, and I think a different creature could be made with those like rune shells that you pick up. Not saying that these guys don't have the runes on their back. Like I like that idea for them, but I think that another creature could have a different rune shell situation that you could pick up, and maybe having that shell has some sort of value and stuff like that. But I think that would go to a different one and have that size attached to it.
All right, I got you though.
Yeah, because I like these having the runes, and so I'll have to draw a rune on this. But yeah, again, I see them as being small, and until they get taken off,
Yeah,
and then watch out because they're gonna
because it's huge.
Yeah.
And they have like basically kraken tentacles on the bottom that they can like grab ships with, attack things on land. Like that's kind of dope.
Question.
Yeah.
Are these at all related to the world beast?
I wouldn't say they're related because the world beast was created for a specific purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. These
I
just kind of happened to evolve.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that they happen to evolve. This would be something that was created by Eleazar when he created the world.
Oh.
And so because okay, so what happened when the gods, well, when Alithio, she's the mother of the pantheon, when she died, she imbued all of her children with a bit of the power from the god that killed her. And that gave them the ability that whenever they create something, they give it a tiny spark of what's core. And so every creature made has a spark of core. But
which is like divinity.
Yeah, a tiny spark of divinity. But that doesn't translate to inanimate objects. So how does the world have that spark of core? Well, Eleazar figured that out through these things. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when he made the world, he had these, so they provide the core in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so this is how that is seen on Mythandria. So on every planet and every plane, there are these things, different shape, different function. Well, essentially the same function, but different abilities.
Yeah.
I like that.
What I'm thinking, so I had an idea for these guys. That's a sick story, by the way. I'm thinking, right? We talked about how like they all come together and they come big sized. How big do they get, by the way, when they're like combined into like a super mega one?
I'm thinking they get as big as they need to be.
Yeah.
Oh, so it changes. All right, sweet.
And maybe that's where your rune shell comes in at the moment.
Elaborate.
So not that many people could take on like it being huge, but what happens if we do come across one that lost its shell in the battle? I imagine that because it's a combination of a bunch of them, those things that have been cut off from it are dead because that's kind of how it works. But what if they retain the shape of mind? Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah. Okay.
Hold on a second. Two things. One thing, Pocket. So Pocket, what we're saying is like they don't take up the whole water. Because Pocket was saying, so it appears that it's a lake, but it's not water, and it's not drinkable, and you can't eat anything out of it. These things are inhabiting in the water. So there's water and stuff like that above it, but these things are living within that water. But guys, what were you saying?
I was saying, so like when you were talking about, because there's a bunch of them, if you like cut off a piece of the tentacle or whatever, you just killed some of them, but not like the whole thing. And obviously like a regeneration, which basically is combined or would like happen and stuff like that. I was thinking that, let's say perhaps you do end up cutting off pieces of it or whatever. What if they don't turn back to these individual things? What if they still hold the form of them together?
So if you kill a larger one, your reward would be a size shell of whatever it took.
Because I don't see them being able to be killed, but let's say you are able to grab a piece of a shell, or you are able to grab some of the tentacle or something. These are things that are highly valuable, things that people would be trying to buy from you to make magic items out of, or to make you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see them still holding the shape if it's cut off while they're huge or while they're all combined.
Here's the thing I would think on that. I would think that you would have a small window to do it. Not necessarily like a small window, but a sort of defined window. Because I think that eventually it would sort of dissolve. Do you know what I'm saying? Just as natural flesh would decay.
Yeah.
It would start to decay. You know? So I would think you would have to get it to someone who could magically preserve it to keep that form and to siphon the magic or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could do that, then yes, I think it would be very valuable. You know?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I
Yeah.
think.
So I had an idea for these guys, right? And I think that this would lead to some really sick encounters, but like, you know how we're talking about how like if you're, being harmful to the environment, you can try to fight this thing if it comes to you and you can get a reward as a piece of its shell, right? A lot of our characters though, we are in like stark support of nature. We talk to a lot of prime beings. We have the literal defender on our team. So what I'm thinking is if this thing turns large, it's going to be like perhaps some kind of ecological disaster for like its environment. And so what I'm thinking is that if you're like some sort of spellcaster and you're like on the side of nature, this thing, like if you're fighting alongside it against whatever is harming the environment, this thing would boost your spellcasting in some kind of way. Like maybe it would refresh your spell cost allotment, or like it would give you extra spell dominance or something to like increase the way your core works whilst you're fighting alongside it, if you're like, choosing to do so.
See, I'm not thinking
while
of
it's large sized.
I'm not thinking of it like that. I'm thinking of it more as it's almost like an elemental force.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just working for the benefit of Mythandria.
Yeah.
And so it's not really concerned with allies or whatever. So it's not thinking of teaming up or.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
the purpose though is that like this thing is like essentially a self-preservating force of nature, like you're saying, right? And there are other creatures in Mythandria, like the prime beings, who are very in tune with nature. And so if you're like on the side of this thing, what I'm trying to say is that like the way like nature tends to like work together and like coincide with itself, there are just beings that work better with nature. And so if you're one of those beings and you see this thing, fighting, if you were to join the side of it, it would boost you. That's what I'm thinking, if that makes sense. Because like its whole thing is like creating, like a route in which core can access, nature, right?
See, I kind
And
of
so what I'm thinking is like if you work as the force of nature, you would be able to reap the benefits of that by benefiting this thing.
Anthony, I don't think you're understanding what this thing is. This thing is completely neutral. It only fights you if you're threatening it. It doesn't pick sides.
Exactly.
But
well, like if you're harming its environment though, because like what Uriah is saying, it's a reflection. If you're doing harm to the environment, then this thing is going to try and remove you from the environment by, draining you. And then it's going to take the core it drained and then disperse it back into the environment. If it lives in a, healthy environment where it's like, it's able to foster the magic, grow the land, make it grow naturally large, then it doesn't have any reason to fight. So it doesn't have any reason to give anybody a boost. I'm just saying there's like a lot of creatures in Mythandria, like animals, sentient beings, that kind of thing, that are very in tune with nature. And so I feel like this thing would be used to receiving the benefit from those things, and so it would benefit those things in order to work together to maintain the sort of homeostasis.
That is, it's taking away a core feature of this game where you don't necessarily have huge buffs. This is a huge buff for all nature things. So then, and when people play the game, the meta is going to be you become nature and you fight with this thing because that overpowers the rest of everything else. So if
you don't have a choice in like making this thing fight, it's just if it so happens to be fighting and you're a nature-based
you're not getting
character.
what I'm saying. You're trying to give a buff just because they happen to choose to be nature. So everyone's going to happen to choose to be nature just in case either A, this thing might not fight it because he's nature and they have the same views, I guess, and B, they're getting a massive buff. And I think,
I'm not thinking it would be massive. It might just be like, a +2 to one of your magic stats. I'm thinking is I want it to be.
Let Uriah jump in.
I'm thinking this is sort of in the weeds a little bit, in that we're getting into some semantics that probably wouldn't happen super often. From what I can gather, Davey, it seems like you're thinking that people are going to choose to try and be good with nature and all of that stuff to receive a buff and to not have this as an enemy. Whereas I'm thinking Anthony is saying that if you so happen to see this fighting or cleansing the area of something that's going down, temporarily you would get a bonus. I fully expected before speaking to talk about how I saw this sort of as like a selective storm, in that the storm chose to eliminate what it thought was parasitic to the environment, but it was neutral and not harmful to those that weren't doing anything to the environment. Until you brought up reflection, I was totally not ready for my own idea to be used against me. Not that you knew that that was happening, but I wasn't ready for it. But then it caused me to think. I do agree in that if you are actively helping it, but that would cause, like, you would have to be, that would be more than occult, right? That this wouldn't be just any nature type thing. These would be people dedicated to specifically the god that created this thing, and trying to, like, you know what I mean? I don't see
Mhm.
this happening like, oh, a defender gets this boost because it's a defender. Oh, the prime gets this because I like nature. I don't see that happening. But I do agree that if it is reflection, then there should be a positive reflection. And if that is the case, then there should be people who are dedicated, just like this thing is dedicated to doing its job, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
do agree in that aspect, but I think that would also eliminate the meta that Davey was talking about, of just having this alignment with nature. If that's not something you really want to do, if you want to create whatever kind of character you want to create.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think then the simple way to handle that would be basically, I like what you're saying, Uriah, but essentially that would be one person on each continent, which would be the warden of that specific god, Eleazar.
Yeah.
That's the one person on each continent who is closest to Eleazar's wish and desire,
Yeah.
you know, or perhaps the one closest to Danu as well. So maybe the warden of Danu, you
Yeah.
know, because those are natures. Yeah, but again, very rare circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My intention for like stating that buff is just entirely that, like, I wanted to just make like a cool sort of boss battle event where it's like, if this thing is in a fight, it sort of like wraps in the entire environment around it, and the players could be involved in that, in either deciding, oh, hey, here's a cool monster, we can get some loot from its shell, or hey, here's a cool monster, we can help, defend it and fight alongside it. And, during that, they would, receive just, a little extra to the magic whilst they're fighting alongside
but
it.
that wouldn't happen. But that's what,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I was like, one, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And secondly, on the rare LM inspired occasion that it would happen, I think of the my enemy is my friend, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are working together completely. I see it more as you can have a buff of capitalizing on your enemy's weakness because they're distracted from someone else, without physically needing a buff in your damage and stuff. Like, so for instance, if this is trying to get rid of something and you're all about, hey, this area needs to have someone who isn't trying to take out this forest or something like that, the buff is that it's preoccupied right now. That is your buff. That you don't
I
need
suppose.
this extra boost or whatever that's happening, because you're not the warden of Danu or Eleazar.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not something that's happening.
Yeah.
So individually, these things, life cycle.
100 years.
100? Well, wait. to determine life cycle, how do they reproduce and how often do they reproduce?
Or I'm sort of a split thought. I was thinking maybe they are immortal.
Okay.
And so like when Nathaniel was formed, it was seeded with a certain number. Go on.
Okay, so I want to jump to that because that you're making them immortal is literally perfect what I want to do. So I wanted to say, the thing that divides the continents, right? The giant serpent, right?
The world beast.
Yeah. I think that it eats them in order to maintain its magical attributes, and I think that they understand that because he protects the world. I think them being immortal is perfect because he naturally.
He eats a certain amount of them.
Yes, and then they reproduce. Yes,
they reproduce the amount that he eats.
And then
that's kind of sick.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm game with that too.
Yeah.
So can you re-explain this to me real quick? Because I'm a little lost.
So there's a giant serpent that destroys everything.
Well, it's not a serpent.
Yeah, it's not a serpent, but the world beast. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so it destroys things, and it's super strong. No one's ever defeated it, and it keeps you from crossing the continents.
Yeah, for like the group of chaos monsters that attack wherever dude decides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. I think the way that it maintains its strength and its presence is by eating these extremely magical things. And they're fine with that because they understand that it protects the earth, right? Or the world. So them being immortal, it's like a natural birth control. And like they reproduce like forever because they're immortal, but he eats a certain amount of them every year in order to keep the numbers down.
So even in death, they provide to the homeostasis.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah.
And so maybe they're not even reproducing. Maybe they're just regenerated.
Regenerate?
Well, because that means they would have to have a set number. I don't think there will be. No, because then that still works.
But that's what I was thinking. He said, "Let there be 20 billion." Boom, there were 20 billion. Yeah, I'm just saying, and each year Manhostel eats 10 billion, and each year 10 billion are regenerated, or whatever, to keep the balance.
That's not
well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got you. I feel like if they come out of nowhere,
like that.
Yeah, I feel like if they're just regenerated, like they come out of nowhere, that sort of like defeats the purpose of them being part of like a cycle and maintaining the homeostasis of the nature. It's like if they reproduce, then they're giving to the land and they're giving to the world beast, and they're taking what they need to create more of this positive cycle, as opposed to just being a limitless source of positiveness.
See, so I also kind of disagree with that too. What my stance, where I disagreed, was because I'm thinking of the food source, and food is fuel. What happens if the beast is more active? He would have to eat more, right? So then, if there's so I like the idea of them reproducing more than regenerating, because I see it eating whenever it needs to, and whatever that number is what they reproduce naturally. So they still may have the set number, but I don't see world beast eats just this set number every year, and this is like I don't see that happening because I don't.
Yes and no, because we could, and I like that we can roll with that, but we also could do it like, let's say if it was the same number, the way we could offset that is that when the need arises, they can just get more energy from the shadow seed. You know what I'm saying? So they would individually be imbued with more to sustain him, so we could do it that way. But I like your idea. So, just like the creatures of Moratir, when it's time for the Legion to be called, they just magically get more fertile, when Ren Hoshel ate more, they just magically get more fertile. So okay, I like that.
Right.
All right. But otherwise, they're immortal.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like 7 of these giant crustacean magics just like occurring at like the shoreline where like the Legion is coming to attack.
I don't think it'll Legion. I think they just. They don't go out of their way to fight things. They're just passive. They only fight you if you're affecting them.
I mean, yeah, but if you're going to a place with
that's
the
true.
intention of wrecking it entirely, you know, these
but
guys
they're
would
not
probably
wrecking
not
the
like
ocean.
the
They're
disruption
wrecking
of the
the land.
nature.
They're not
Yeah,
wrecking
how
the
do
ocean.
they feel about the Legion?
So hold on a second.
I don't think they
What
care
if they
about
had short? I'm sorry, I was reading Mika's thing. What if they had short lifespans, like a year or two, but there are so many of them that could be eaten with no problem? What is the yellow thing in the sack that holds Tabbo's version, so they would not die off?
A little bit lower.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
I don't know. I like them being immortal.
Yeah, I think
I like the immortality.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the rune, like part of that rune is for their immortality or something. That's like built into them. Just as a little like maybe one of the characters in it or something is for that. I don't know.
Well,
Vondra really trying to come up with a way to be immortal quick.
No, there's no quick way.
Put this rune into your arm. It'll make you live forever.
You guys were saying something about the Legion?
I don't think that they care.
Oh.
Yeah. What? How do they feel about the Legion?
Because I was thinking if they came to a place to destroy it and it was near these guys, they would, rise up and try to fend that off.
I don't think. Okay. We have to make a decision. I don't think they care about anything that doesn't physically either immediately affect them, like they're going to try and kill them, or it's not their immediate zone. Now, if they're attacking an island and they happen to be stationed around that island, then yeah, I think they would try and do something because that's their home. But if they're just
that's what I'm referring to.
I don't think that if they're just crossing the ocean to go attack the main continent, I don't think they're going to do anything because that's not where they live, or that's not a close enough area to their like bases.
Well, okay.
I mean, if they're not like being
I wouldn't see them as having an issue with the Legion generally, because they are not they're not concerned with sort of the day-to-day thing. They don't care if you cut down a tree.
Yeah, no.
They don't care if you cut down 20 trees. You know what I'm saying? What they don't want, they care if you pollute a river to the point that you have permanently damaged the river, or you're about to permanently damage the river. They care if you have overfished the ocean to the point where you're going to deplete the population of dolphins. Those kind of things are what they concern themselves with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And from what I've heard about the Legion, they're like insanely destructive. So if they land somewhere near where these guys are, these guys would fight them. That's their
No, because the Legion, what they do, the Legion isn't going to sit there and take 50 years to kill off all the dolphins. The Legion place, and they are going to go wipe out all the people in Midian.
So the severity for these guys, or the deciding factor of action, is permanence. How long?
They're going to say the population can come back.
Yeah,
and humans can be reborn. But that river can never be, because the pollutants, so that's what they're looking at. More of that environmental thing. If you damaged Mythandria versus what lives on Mythandria.
All right, I feel it. Yeah.
So, all right.
That's a solid way of explaining it. Thank you, Dave.
All right. So,
and that makes sense because they're immortal, so they would have the view of
an immortal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and so Mika says, so they're like piranha. They only attack if they are hungry or being threatened. I say yes, only I think honestly, I think they eat. I think they are herbivores.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I see them as being very docile, unless you threaten the environment and stuff, or you're trying to kill them.
Yeah, I didn't even see them eating. I just thought they had natural immortality, like they didn't need that for sustenance.
Well, no, I like the idea because you guys were saying they're part of the cycle.
Yeah.
So I like them, and that's part of why they want to make sure the oceans and the things stay clean and things like that. I like that as them being a part of this.
Okay.
So I see them as they'll eat the algae and stuff because that's part of keeping it clean and
yeah.
But yeah, so when they got to get bad, that's when they do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Got you.
What are they called?
Valkyries.
I don't think that they have a name.
How are we going to put that?
Not
Welcome to our creature creation station. This is nameless.
I think they have a name, obviously, but I don't think that people know what their name is.
Well,
I like that.
I don't think they have a name created by
Yeah, but what are we calling them? Yes, I would agree. Most people don't know they exist.
Oklyn.
Oklyn?
I think Oklyn is nice. I said Valkyrie.
Wait, hold on.
Zilfton.
What was that?
Zilfton.
I think so far I like Oklyn best.
I do like Oklyn.
Yeah, Oklyn is good.
How are you thinking of spelling it? Is it Oklyn like aqua, like water? Oklyn, A-Q-U-I-N or something like that?
Hold on, I want to.
A-Q-U or Oklyn with a K.
Yeah, it's like A-K accent Lynn. So then you got.
I was liking the AQ, like aqua.
Oh,
yeah.
That's kind of cheesy though.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking AQ apostrophe WYNN, or like just AQ apostrophe WYN, because you have like the aqu from aqua, and then it comes to aqua, but it's like win, and the W kind of starts off with like water, so it's like you get a very sort of coastal, kind of ocean side feel from the name Oklyn, I feel.
Also, hear me out on this, right?
Yes.
Their name, like depending on their name, right? Whatever it is, I have this thing that means something, and just like it, I think this would probably be fitting for them because of just the sheer magnitude of how many there are. But like if it is Auckland or something, what if that meant Star of the Waves?
Stars of the Waves. Stars.
Yeah.
S.
Yeah, it could be stars.
I like it.
Or wave. Yeah, something.
What
like
if
that.
it's stars of the wave instead of star of the waves?
Got it. I like that.
I like that. Yeah, singular wave and then plural stars. Okay.
Yeah.
So
because it's like there's a lot of them, and then it refers to the ocean as like a singular entity.
So Oklyn, Star of the Waves. Mika said their name is High Pitched Noise. That can't be said.
Wait, is it going to be Oklyn with an L or Okwin with a W?
I think Ok with a K. I do think doing the QU is a bit on the nose there.
No, it's supposed to be no. I wanted the Q.
Okay. Okay, what if it was QW instead of QU?
You already picked K.
I mean, we already have Aqua Sulis, that's a lake and all that stuff. So
yeah,
I think we can go with the Ak.
I tried.
I see how it is.
I have OKLYN.
Yeah, I like that. I was thinking AK. Lynn.
Okay, AK.
Yeah.
LYN.
I just want.
Nah.
Okay.
I like O. Okay.
If you're not gonna do aqua, it's gotta be O.
No, because then that doesn't pronounce the same.
Oklyn.
But yeah,
You know how you say
Ah.
rock? It's like
Hey, it's
ROCK.
Oklyn. It's
Yeah, or Oklyn.
Oklyn is an oval.
All right.
egg.
Okay. So, all right, we're good on the Oklyn.
Yeah.
Okay.
OCH''LYN.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, like Loch Ness Monster.
Now they're
Oh,
making fish noises. Okay, so I am going to let Mika or Pocket, if you guys have your dice handy,
Oh.
why don't you guys roll them sweet? Go ahead and we'll do a D8.
D100.
Do a D8
And multiply it by each other's numbers.
And you know what? I'm tempted to have you guys re-roll my rolls. You know.
Yeah.
And re-roll Vondra's rolls.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
But then I would have to have you guys re-roll everybody else's rolls. So.
Hey, look. I bet you Mika and Pocket would be down as long as EP's involved.
You know, I so want to do that, but I'm going to be good. Yes.
I'll trade you 2 EP per person to re-roll our battle.
Oh, mine were all bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I didn't even put mine on my sheet yet because.
Okay, so Mika got a 5. Okay. So guys, we have 5 EP for tonight.
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah.
Excellent. I think we're done, right?
Yep.
We got.
Wait, hold on. Let's explore this re-rolling idea first. I think we should do that.
Right. Oh, and Pocket got a 7 though.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
So here's what you guys are going to do.
So do I get a reroll when I roll?
So here's the thing. Pocket and Mika, odd or even?
And the loser gets to do our rolls.
Oh wait, hold on. I think.
Okay, Mika says odd. Pocket, you can't say the same thing. So Mika says odd, so we're going to go with odd. So we got 5 EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What?
So Pocket gets to re-roll our stuff, right?
Where if you really needed to like re-roll your EP rolls, I think for like it should be additive, but I think you should.
All right. So here's the thing. Everybody is talking about doing this re-roll.
No, I don't. I think there should be a sacrifice. It's not free.
You're
gonna
that's what I'm saying.
I think you're only able to re-roll after your first 1,000, right? Because at that point, like at the beginning, it'd be kind of crazy if you just keep re-rolling and you just keep, but it's more evened out. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I was thinking you should sacrifice half your next EP.
Whoa, what?
Here's what. Okay.
To get a re-roll on the 3.
I'd say a re-roll that's unearned would sacrifice 1 persona benefit.
Here's what I would say. All right. When we roll 3 dice. All right. This one time only, if you and I are going to re-roll, I will allow us to re-roll 1 die.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll
Wait.
for
Wait. Okay.
I mean,
Can I make a deal? Can I make a deal? If we re-roll 1 die each, then we take those numbers for us.
We take those numbers for us.
So hear me out. Let's say I chose a D6, okay? And you chose a D8 for whatever reason. Don't think you will, but let's say that, right?
Okay.
or let's say you chose a D6. Whatever you roll and whatever I roll are our 2 D6s now. Like we're stuck with that for each other.
No, but what I'm saying is we give up the other rolls.
Oh, we give up.
I'm saying sacrifice. The other rolls stayed like when they didn't happen.
Oh, so if
Okay.
so you have a 1 and a 1. So you roll, if you get a 4, you can only add a 4 to hit or vestment, and you don't get any vitality.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the other rolls
Wow.
don't exist. We can't go. So here's the thing: we can't go lower than our high roll. So, so you can't go lower than, I think your highest was a 5. So you can give up everything else, and you can just have a 5. And I can give up everything else and just have a 4, or I can go with 1 roll and get better.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Okay, I mean, I'm just trying to make it hard because
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think at that point, because the whole point of the reroll is to get to have those. So I was like, I have 3 numbers now, and then I just get rid of that for 1 number. I don't know about that. That doesn't seem right to me.
all right. Pocket says, I just think every 1,000 you get to roll an extra 1d6, 1d6, and 1d8.
I'm willing to throw out the idea that you just cancel your persona benefit. Like one of them just gone. Like you can't get it. Like it's like you just missed that 200 EP mark. Like you just don't get that one.
Yeah, I'm not. See, to me, that's not enough of a oomph.
I feel like that's a big oomph. I don't know.
Use 50 EP.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're taking way too much time. So let me see. I'm just going to make a decision real quick, and this will go for my group and your group. Mika says just roll 2d20. Yeah, that's not happening.
I like that. Yes, Cam Fam. We should listen to you more often.
So here's what we're going to do. What I'm going to say is once every 1,000, we can roll an additional D10 or D12 and spread that.
Oh, then can I roll that now?
Through the different ones.
I am at 1,000. I should be given that.
I mean, how's that sound?
I like that.
So is that
when you're progressing your character.
So is there any cost to getting the D12?
I mean, what do you guys say? It's already 9:03.
No,
so
I think it's every.
No, I'm game. Let's roll. I got D12s.
I think every 1,000.
All right, so Mika says that's good. Pocket says that's fair.
That's fair.
So wait, we're just adding this in?
Yes. Do not.
Hey guys, this is not canon.
I'm ready.
This is not in the book. This is a homebrew. The guys are just, and look.
I mean, if it's gonna be homebrew
Now,
for
I'll
us,
tell you what.
so how does that? What do we get to add the D12?
I am not accepting it if it's a 1. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, hey, look, I feel you too. I'm not either. So cool. All right, let's go.
Pocket said, I think playing the game to get 1,000 EP is hard enough. All right, so go ahead and roll.
Woohoo!
Mine done fell off the table.
Okay, well, I have to go grab my dice real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, you guys ready?
Otherwise, it was gonna be that.
Yeah, 7.
You ready?
Yeah, what you got?
Where is it? Is it focusing?
No, not
It's not focusing, but you get a 12.
That's 10. Hold
You
on.
got better than I did. You guys see my 7?
There it is.
That's a 7.
Yeah, it's focused.
All right. So,
Nice stuff.
okay, so that's your mine and Uriah's for this 1,000. All right.
Mhm.
So you guys will get that when you guys progress.
I've already hit 1,000.
Huh?
Haven't I already?
I hit
I mean, next time you
1,000 as
possess your
well.
character.
What? Why? You didn't say that. Wouldn't it just be on the 1,000?
Well, I
Since
mean,
we're behind, wouldn't we just do it now to get it over with? So then we don't.
Yeah,
either
he's
forget
right. We
about it
already did
or
hit our
forget about it
1,000.
later. Also, I just.
Oh
want-
well, if you want to do it, then that's a wrap for you
I
for the
wanna
next
stick with
1,000. That's
Pat.
on you.
I mean, you could. I just thought you'd do it when you felt your
No,
rolls
'cause I'm
are
gonna
kind of
forget.
bad.
No. My rolls are gonna be bad. All right. So I might as well.
So okay, not check it. So if we already hit
Wait, hold on,
1,000,
hold on. So let's go ahead and end the recording. Let me
Alright,
so
stop.
Ryan,
You
stay
can,
down.
fam.
farewell, Tim fam.
All right. Where the heck are we at?
We're in the ending slate. So, Cam Fam, be sure to check us out on our social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and Discord, EverLoreGame. We love the community. We love the conversation, and we love you, Cam Fam. Also, check us out on YouTube. That's EverLoreGame. Put that in the search bar. Like, comment, share the videos, but be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we upload a video to our channel. We also have ManChildLTD.com ready to go, so you can get yourself a Traveler's Compendium and also some cool gear. If you like awesome sweatshirts and hoodies and t-shirts, be sure to check out manchildltd.com/store where we have some awesome EverLore gear for you as well. Last but certainly not least, check us out live. If you want to see Wahoo get into their own shenanigans, check us out Thursday nights, 6:50 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's twitch.tv/EverLoreGame. And if you want to check out my group on Mondays, get into their own crazy shenanigans, check us out Monday nights, 6:45 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's twitch.tv/Essence of Everlore. Guys, we're trying to get that to 50 followers. So if you like tabletop role-playing games that give you the versatility and freedom that you're looking for, then go ahead and follow and share that with your friends. I'm going to let the last part go ahead and go to Dave. But yeah, thanks for watching, Cam Fam.
That's right, guys. So like he was saying, this game it has a lot of diversity and a lot of customization. It is not limited by classes or levels. So if you guys are looking for a game like that, then this game is for you. All right.
That's right,
Peace out,
Cam
Cam fam.
All right. And oh yeah, Pocket says, follow the stream on Monday nights because we're more better. I don't know. But, we'll leave it at that. Peace out. All right.
Cam Fam.
Let me stop recording here.